Imagine you got in a car accident and the very next day the insurance company was willing to send you a check for $3,000. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, not so fast. What if I told you that case was actually worth $75,000? My name is Eric Mausner, personal injury lawyer in Miami, Florida. On this channel, we'll be discussing tips, tricks, and various issues related to personal injury law. Please feel free to stop by anytime. Okay, so here's a client named John. John wasn't our client at the time. He got in a car accident, and the insurance company tried to settle with him quickly. John was smart. He bought uninsured motorist coverage. That meant he had $100,000 of coverage on his own car insurance policy. John was rear-ended. He had a serious back injury, but the insurance company was looking to settle with him quickly. And John thought $3,000 was a lot of money. John needed $3,000. He had rent, he had bills to pay, groceries to buy, and John was looking to accept this $3,000. John called our law office and asked, what should I do? And we said, hold on, don't accept that $3,000. Your case could be worth way more than $3,000. So John came to the office. We met in person. He showed us photos of the crash. He told us what happened. He got hit by a vehicle with no coverage at all. So thankfully, John had coverage, but the insurance company was looking to get out of it quickly. The crash itself was a bad rear-end accident, clear liability. John did nothing to contribute to this crash at all. He was stopped at a red light at an intersection, and a commercial vehicle with no coverage came up behind him, failed to stop, and crushed the back of his car. John was in a lot of pain. John ended up going to the hospital, and just a couple weeks later, the insurance company was willing to send him a check for $3,000. And thank God, John didn't accept that $3,000. He didn't deposit it in his bank, and he didn't sign a release. So the claim was open, and John ended up retaining our law firm, and we were able to move forward. So John retained our law firm. Our law firm sent off letters of representation to the insurance companies. We always confirm the insurance limits. We look at the paperwork. There's something called a declaration page. There's policy documentation. We want to confirm the limits. And in this case, there was $100,000. John didn't know where to treat. John didn't have health insurance. John was able to use his car insurance, his personal injury protection coverage, to pay his bills up to $10,000. So John had some car insurance coverage to pay his medical bills. So cases like John's case, they're worth much more than $3,000, but they really come down to medical treatment. How does this affect your life, and what kind of treatment have you done to get healthy? Everybody's injuries are different. Every case is different. Everybody has separate and distinct injury claims. But in a case like John's, John was able to do a lot of treatment, physical therapy. He ended up doing epidural injections. He ended up getting MRIs. He did all this treatment to get healthy. John was suffering from serious back pain, serious stiffness, and he even had some radiation from his low back down into his hips. So John ended up going with the epidural injections at the recommendation of his doctors, and John was able to get healthy. But that didn't happen, until 6 months down the road. John's case ended up settling for $75,000, and there was a fight to get to that number with the insurance company. As I mentioned, they wanted to pay $3,000, and eventually those offers went up to $15,000, $25,000, $45,000, and at the end of the day, we were able to get John $75,000, and that was as a claim 6 months in without filing a lawsuit. Could John's case have been worth more? Yes, it could have, but John wanted the money, John needed the money, and he wanted to conclude the case. So I let John make the decision, as I do with all my clients. It's always the client decision to settle the case or to reject that offer and keep going forward. But John didn't want to do any more treatment. John wanted to end the case and accept the money at that point. This case always existed as a claim, meaning it was not an active lawsuit. We didn't go to court, and that was the client's decision. So how did we get this case from $3,000 to $75,000? It was all about the client's medical management, all about the client's medical treatment, and the decisions that the client made with their treating physicians to get this number up. The insurance companies value cases more where there's treatment, where someone does injections, where someone gets MRIs. In the beginning of the case, when John got offered $3,000, John had only gone to the hospital. John didn't do any treatment at all. So the insurance company was trying to get him to bite and see if he would settle that case. But John was smart. Ultimately, his instincts told him, let me hire a lawyer. And that's what John did. And that's how John got a better result at the end of the day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, stop by anytime. We'll be talking about various kinds of tips, tricks, and other insider information that pertain to personal injury cases.